So we're born with eyes wide open. As a child and as children, the world is full of wonder and possibility. I myself had a charmed existence. When I was playing backyard cricket, I imagined that I was hitting the winning runs in the Boxing Day test for the Baggy Greens. Anything was possible. Practicing my saxophone, doing scales, I'd be lining up alongside Charlie Parker and playing in Carnegie Hall. This was a real reality. Anything I did as a child, I thought it was possible. Sadly, this feeling isn't something that stays with us as we grow up. As we grow and mature through school and university, blinkers are put on us. We are told that our hopes and desires for the future are dreams, and that we are dreamers, and that we need to get back to reality. Slowly, society and conventions get the better of us. They tell us what to do because they tell us what we're good at. For me, I dreamed of being a truck driver and working with bears and wolves in Alaska. In reality, as an adult, I went into advertising. 10 years as an internationally awarded creative was full of fun, lots of ideas, awards, money, parties, and fear. Fear of getting fired, fear that you're not good enough, fear that if you don't win another award, you're going to get fired, someone's going to find you out as a hoax. And a fear of feeling fear, real fear for the first time in my life. At the base of it, I think advertising wasn't what I wanted to do, but it was all I could do. It was all I was led that I could do. And the only way to make money was to come up with ideas and to make other people money or their companies and campaigns famous, and to spend 20 hours a day doing it. You start to see red. In my mind, all the optimism and positivity had gone. I hated myself because I sold chips to fat kids and got a pay rise, beer to alcos and got awards, and money and awards were everything that I was told that I wanted. But something was missing, and my soul was completely miserable, as I've spoken, full of self-doubt, no optimism. You've got to eyeball your fear. You've probably heard this a billion times, but it's as true today as the day that Albert Einstein said it. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So instead of walking into my agency one day and staying there for 20 hours, I walked out of it and into the one place I feared to tread, the unknown, and it felt amazing. And all the people around me told me that I was crazy for doing that. Why would you leave a career? Why would you leave money? What I did next really blew their minds. Suddenly you become reborn with your eyes wide open again. Dreams are for living, and life is too short to just dream them. I went to Romania and I work with bears and wolves, liberating them from gypsy fighting rings and circuses in the Transylvanian province of Zanesti. And this was just to clear my head and to get back in touch with those childhood ambitions and positivities. I travelled to the US, rented a Harley from LA, and cut the country in half with the Hells Angels, the El Forasteros, and the Galloping Goose. And that, once again, was a dream that had now become a reality. I was inspired. What was impossible was now possible. What was a dream was becoming a reality. What the fuck was I going to do next? This was something that I had already faced. I'd walked out of a job into the unknown. I'd followed a dream, ticked it off, and I was back in the unknown. What am I going to do now? But it was nowhere near as daunting. Shit. All right, so this is see the world through rose-coloured glasses. So this is what I'm talking about, where you go from everything is black and dark, suddenly you can look at the world positively. Suddenly you can stick those little pink specks on and see the world. With a bit of space and perspective, you can look at things with this perspective. Suddenly the 10 years in advertising that I'd spent wasn't a waste of time, and I didn't hate it. It had taught me and my business partners to think strategically and simply, something that's really important when coming up with an idea of your own. So this is what we came up with, Hungry Mondays. The insight was that restaurants only made money when they cooked, but unfortunately they only cooked between sort of 7 and 10 at night, leaving the whole rest of the time this kitchen unused. We approached chefs, asked them if they could cook something slowly to prep the next day, packaged it and resold it. making use of a space that wasn't being used before. The chefs absolutely love this because Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we sell exclusively on a Monday, were their quietest times. And now they could make money on these days without really having to do anything except stick a lamb shoulder in the oven. The second business is Little Flowers that we helped kick off. The insight behind Little Flowers was to take all the bigness out of it, take the expense out of it. For us, the gesture and the words on the card is what was at the real heart of the giving. All right. Yeah, it was the gesture, not the flowers, and to spend $60 to $120 on flowers was too much for a lot of people. We wanted to make the spreading of these smiles more affordable and people to do it more often. So for $25 delivered in Sydney, people can now send flowers to their loved ones with ridiculous messages. It's not just, you know, happy Valentine's Days or birthdays or anniversaries. The dog sends it to the mum, sorry I peed on the carpet. You know, people are sending it to the vase on their coffee table. Girls are sending it to other girls for borrowing hair straighteners and stuff like that. So the gesture now is more often and whenever. So another strategic insight. Just quickly, before you beat the shit out of me. So just getting started. If any of you guys want to get started, here's a few tips. You can learn from our mistakes. Just start. To get started, just start. The longer you spend umming and ahhing on it, the more time it becomes like this myth and this big beast that's going to work against you. The shittiest irony of all is that when we learn more through our mistakes and than we do doing things right. So if you have a dream, don't fear making mistakes because the dream will become a reality a lot faster the more mistakes you make. Whatever your dream for the future is, don't do it alone. Make sure you've got someone else to share the victories, to share the frustrations, because there's going to be plenty of them. But as Sarah said up front, there's sacrifice. You're going to make sacrifices, but it's for your own. It's not for someone else, it's yours. Also, surround yourself with the people who can do what you can't. Don't be afraid to delegate, because they're good at some stuff, you're good at other stuff. Work as a team. Last thing, hustle hard. Get to know the hustle. People who sit there and talk and just talk about it, it's charlatan behaviour. Like, you've got to get down, you've got to do whatever it takes. You've got to bloody hustle, you've got to knock on doors, kick them down, make phone calls, work 3 jobs. Hustle is the currency of your success. So do whatever it takes. And lastly, just stay focused on what are your dreams, what are your fears, and what's stopping you from taking them on and down. Thank you.